Hello scholars, welcome back to our video 3 of chapter 13, Sun, Moon and the Earth. Scholars, have you watched first and second video? So, what we are going to learn in video 3? Let's see. Scholars, you can see here a beautiful picture of moon. Have you seen the moon? Yes, we see the moon in the sky. And when do we see the moon? In the morning or at night? Yes, at night we can see this beautiful moon in the sky. So, we are going to learn about some of the facts of the moon. Scholars, any object or body that moves around a planet is known as a satellite. So, satellite means what? Satellite means any object or body that moves around a planet. So, the Earth where we live, it is also a planet, and the moon that we see in the sky at night, it also moves around this Earth. So, does it a satellite? Yes. As the moon orbits around the Earth, it is called as the natural satellite of the Earth. The moon is about 1/4 size of the Earth. As it is small in size, its gravitational force is much less than the Earth. On the moon, we will weigh 1/6 of what we weigh on the Earth. It means if your weight is 30, how much will it weigh on the moon? Yes, just do it. Almost 5 kg. Yes, because whatever weight of ours is there on the Earth, okay, of 1/6 we will weigh on the moon. Now, scholar, just tell me, do we see the same shape of the moon every day as we see of the sun? No, the shapes of the moon keeps on changing every night, and the changing shape of the moon that we see every night is called as the phases of the moon. Here you can see the diagram of phases of the moon. Scholars, why there are the different shapes of the moon appear? So, the reason is the revolution of the moon around the earth causes different amounts of moon's phase to be lit up by the sun, depending on the position of the moon. So, the moon appears to change the shape. So, whatever the phase of the moon is lit by the sun, okay, it keeps changing as the moon it revolves around the earth, and due to this there are the 8 phases of the moon. Are there? Yes, there are 8 phases of the moon. Now let's see each phase one by one. The first phase is new moon. This is the phase of the moon in which the side of the moon facing the earth does not get any light. So, if the side of the earth is not getting any light, so can we able to see the moon? No, we cannot able to see the moon. So, new moon is the day, okay, or new moon is the phase when we cannot see moon in the sky. Second is waxing crescent. In this phase of the moon, a thin portion of the moon can be seen, and during this phase, the moon appears to grow. The third one is the half moon. The phase of the moon in which only half of the moon can be seen is called as the half moon. So, half of the portion of the moon, okay, when we can see from the earth, the half of the portion of the moon has the light. The fourth phase is the waxing gibbous. Now, what is the waxing gibbous? This is the phase of the moon in which most of the moon is visible. After the waxing gibbous, the fifth one is the full moon. In the full moon, this is the phase of the moon where we can see the entire face of the moon. Yes, the entire face or the entire face of the moon it receives light. Yes, so we can see the entire face of the moon. So it is called as the full moon. After the full moon, it is waning gibbous. In this phase, we can see almost the whole moon. But during this phase, what happens? The moon appears to become small. So scholars, here you can see waning means they are becoming smaller, and in previous phases waxing they are becoming bigger. After the waning gibbous, seventh one is the half moon, and again in this phase we can only see half of the moon. And the last phase is waning crescent. In this phase only a thin portion of the moon can be seen, called as the waning crescent. So scholars, while revolving around the earth, find the moon phase received light, okay, and how much light does the part of the moon it receives and can be visible from the earth. On that base only there are these 8 phases of the moon. Now scholars, just tell me, we can able to find the location of anyone on the earth. We are having the GPS. We can able to see the matches which are going on in another countries. We can able to listen various songs. We just see the television, various shows. We use mobiles. Okay, we can able to predict the weather. How will be the day tomorrow? Okay, the climate. All these things we can do. And do you know who is responsible for this or who is helping this? Just look at the picture. Yes, it is the man-made or artificial satellites. So what are the artificial satellites? Artificial satellites or man-made satellites, they are machines, and these machines are sent to space and they also orbit around the earth like natural satellite. You can see one artificial satellite which is there in the space and it revolves around the earth. Now these satellites they help us to gather many different kind of information, like they help us to predict weather, they help us to understand, they help us for the communication, even they help us for monitoring natural disaster. You know, if there is a fire somewhere, we can able to see through our TV. If there any volcanic eruption, we can able to see. So all these are the uses of these artificial or man-made satellites. Do you know, scholars, when first artificial satellite was launched and by whom? The first artificial satellite was launched by Soviet Union, means Russia, in 1957. And do you know the artificial satellite of our country? What is the name of our first artificial satellite which was launched? Let's find it. Okay. So scholars, I hope you have understood about the moon, its phases, as well as about this artificial or man-made satellites. After watching the video, to read page number 140 and 141 and then draw the diagram of phases of moon as well and write words to know in your notebook. Okay, scholars, till then, bye bye and take care.